Hi, welcome to Surviving Motherhood. I have a question for you. Have you ever been in an impossible situation? Have you been given a job to do that just seemed like more than you could handle? Well, today I want to spend a little bit of time talking with you about a time when Jesus encountered some guys who thought they were in an impossible situation. Maybe you've heard the story before. It's the feeding of the 5,000. I'm going to read for you out of Mark chapter 6, and I'm going to pick up in verse 35. By this time it was late in the day, so his disciples came to him. "This is a remote place," they said, "and it's already very late. Send the people away so they can go to the surrounding countryside and villages and buy themselves something to eat." But he answered, "You give them something to eat." They said to him, "That would take 8 months of a man's wages. Are we to go and spend that much on bread and give it to them to eat?" "How many loaves do you have?" he asked. "Go and see." When they found out, they said, 5 and 2 fish. Then Jesus directed them to have all the people sit down in groups on the green grass. So they sat down in groups of hundreds and fifties. Taking the 5 loaves and the 2 fish and looking up to heaven, he gave thanks and broke the loaves. Then he gave them to his disciples to set before the people. He also divided the 2 fish among them all. They all ate and were satisfied. And the disciples picked up 12 basketfuls of broken pieces of bread and fish. The number of men who had eaten was 5,000. So the disciples thought they were in this impossible situation. There were tons of people who needed to eat, and they wanted Jesus to send them away so they could get themselves something to eat. But then Jesus said these curious words, "You give them something to eat." And a little while later, after they have protested, said that would take 8 months of a man's wages, they didn't have enough. The disciples were just 12 guys. There were thousands of people here, and Jesus is telling them to give them something to eat, and they're saying, "How's that going to happen? We can't do it." Jesus says, "What do you have? How many loaves do you have? Go and see." And it's those words I want to focus on today. Well, those words, as well as the words Jesus didn't say. Jesus did say, "How many loaves do you have? Go and see." He didn't say, "Now guys, come on, buck up, just go gather enough stuff and we'll get it done." Jesus didn't require more of them than they had. He took what they had and he made it enough. You see where I'm going with this? I want to ask you about your impossible situation today. Do you believe Jesus can take what you have to offer and make it enough? Let him ask you, "How many loaves do you have? Go and see." And when you go and see, and will you see it's just you that you have to offer, and you give yourself to Jesus, I believe he will make you enough. Whatever the situation is you're facing today, Jesus is powerful enough to make you enough. You can trust him with the impossible. Have a wonderful, Jesus-full day.